it's no surprise that BMW serves up some of our favorite EVs. Think iX, iX3, and even the i5. But personally, I'm really starting to like the i4 M50. Hey everyone, Vince here from AutoIndustriya, and we have the i4 M50 for you today. And quite possibly, it could be one of my favorite EVs that I've driven this year so far. Now, BMW has been making a big push for their EV technology. And this one, I think, has the 5th generation of their e-drive system. Something that goes all the way back, I think, to the i8s, those kinds of generations. But that one was more of a hybrid kind of vehicle. But what makes this special is that it's an i4, or it's a 4 Series Grand Coupe. You can see it with the side of the vehicle in the way the roof line slopes down, and the fact that it has 5 doors. The 5th door is the lift back in the back, which we'll show you in a bit. But what makes it really unique is that this is an all-wheel drive Grand Coupe, 4-door, 5-door, whatever, that has up to 544 PS. Yes, over 500 horsepower, and torque quite a bit as well. Battery capacity, you've got 83.9 kilowatt hours, and you've got AC charging and DC fast charging up to 205 kilowatts. Yes, that's a lot of things that I have to say right away, because what I really want to focus on is how the vehicle looks, feels, and drives every day. But first, the design. You can see that it is very much an M-style vehicle in the way they have the stance of it, the wheels that they selected with the M logo there. Same with the blue M brakes on the vehicle. And by the way, it has Michelin tires, M, Michelin, whatever. But the front design, it does have the rather large grille there that we kind of made fun of when BMW first revealed it in the M models. But kind of grows on you after a while. But we do wish they could have slimmed it down, because EVs don't really need to have like that much cooling in front, like a radiator for an ICE, which is kind of the purpose of a grille anyway. But this one doesn't really need that, so they kind of blocked it off, so it's really just there for show. Still, it does look good. Now, over here on the side, we can see that this is a 4-door kind of vehicle. Actually, it's a 5-door, because you got 2 here in front, 2 here in the back, and the 5th one is over there. It's actually a lift back. It's not a trunk lid. That's the difference. Now, it does have these BMW Aero mirrors. It's the latest evolution of the M3 style mirrors that we've seen before. Let me unlock this thing so that opens up. It does have that detail there, which is very nice. Like the kind of vent here, I mean, is it functional? Yes, it is. It does actually redirect air over there. But overall, I like how the vehicle looks. It just looks like it's very proper for something that has this kind of performance. So from the back, what do we see? Well, a neatly designed rear end. What else do we see? I mean, the BMW logo there with the blue halo, M50 here, i4 over there. The lower bumper no longer has tailpipes because there is no engine in this one. There's no need for an exhaust. Instead, what you get is a more diffuser type of thing. The rear ducktail spoiler, I don't know, I think I find it a little small. Maybe, I don't know, a bigger one in carbon fiber. I think that would look really good. To open the tailgate, the lift back, you can press that button or press the button on your key. And what you get is a space here that actually is quite nice. The length is about 38 inches, about 35 wide. It goes even more here in terms of the width. And if you want to fold down the rear seats, you get up to around 63 inches in overall length, which is pretty good for a vehicle of this size. But being that it is a lift back and it does slope down, the space, the height is kind of limited to around 18 inches from the floor to around here. Now, when we open this, what you'll find is a Harman Kardon subwoofer right here in the back, along with a tire repair kit, because there are no spare tires in most EVs, and this one is no exception. Actually, BMWs haven't had spares in a long time because most of them use run flats. But what we really want to check out is not really the back seat. We want to check out what's in front, because the driver's seat is where it's all at. So this is the cabin of the BMW i4. And in the M50, it's really, really nice. But first, let's power it up and listen to this. You gotta love the sounds they put into the vehicle to make it sound like it's almost space age when you power it up, when you drive it, because there isn't much sound when it comes to EVs. And I know BMW worked with, I think it was Hans Zimmer, to generate or to compose the sounds that they were gonna use for their vehicles. And later when we drive it out on the highway, we're gonna get to experience that. Now, this is kind of an update of the existing BMW 3 Series and 4 Series architecture, because yes, the 3 Series and 4 Series do share quite a bit, but the 4 Series they use for the more coupe variants, including this kind of a grand coupe version. But the updates, since they facelifted it, because the original of this debuted in 2020, the updated model, you get this, the widescreen kind of thing, like I think they call it iCockpit or something like that, and it's really nice to look at. But mind you, it's actually two screens, one here in front and one here in the middle. Now the instrument cluster you have, or sorry, the instrument display can display a lot of things like usual, like speed, your not RPM anymore, but more of how much power you're using in terms of percentage. So from 0 to 100%, and it even shows the regen, which is kind of cool. So it shows the regen of the vehicle when you lift off the throttle or whenever you brake. It's right down here. It's blocked because of the door open thing. There you go. So up here you have the power meter, and then the regen is right there. But really, it's a nice and crisp display. You can adjust it or tune it the way you want, or kind of configure it the way you want. Not tune it. Now, steering wheel is fully round. It's got these tabs here to give you a nice grip. And sorry, palm swell, I think they call these. And it has the stitching in BMW M colors, meaning the blue and the red, which is a nice touch. BMW roundel there. Control here on the left for your cruise control, not the adaptive kind, just a standard kind, which is perfectly fine for an M vehicle. M logo there. Audio controls here, and to control this part of the screen. Your usual stuff, light control button panel on the left side, your power window, normal stuff, and you have your tailgate open and close right here. Why did I open that? I should close it right away. Now, here in the middle is where pretty much most of the stuff is happening when it comes to the i4. Let me close that. So right now we are in the climate mode. Usually we just put it to the, I put it to the normal fan settings with the AC, but there are different modes that you can play with, which I don't really prefer. I just prefer to keep it on the AC mode. But when we go through the different features of the vehicle, we can see that everything is pretty much centralized here. So you do get your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, both of which are wireless, which is nice, which is why my phone and my glasses are on the wireless charger down here. My phone with the case just barely fits, so maybe they could widen that a bit in a future iteration, but still all well and good. But yes, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You have your BMW ID here, or you can set it the way you want. Meaning, let's say if you're sharing the car with your family, you can have different settings stored for seats and all that in your profile in the vehicle. You got things like here, the charging. This is how you, let's say, you set how much you want it to charge whenever you plug it in. Because as you know, batteries, when you do go to 100%, you kind of lose one cycle. So you have to take care of it, maybe go up to 80% or even 90%. And the 80%, up to 80% charging of this one is pretty fast, like up to 31 minutes there or thereabouts, if you have the DC fast charger. So that's actually a nice thing with this vehicle, which is kind of, I guess, standard with a lot of the other vehicles as well. Now, driving settings, you can adjust your different driver assist features. So for example, let's go through it now. So the feedback, let's say when you signal right and then there's a vehicle there on your right, it'll vibrate the steering wheel, so you know there's something there. It'll alert you. You have your parking sensors here, and here's a 360 camera, or the reverse camera of this one, which is very, very clear, which is always a good thing. Allows you to park with precision, no problem. And then safety and warnings for things like the steering intervention to when it comes to lane change warning, forward collision warning, all that stuff. These are nice features to have, and I kind of like it that BMW didn't go all out with the adaptive cruise control. Yes, it is nice for long drives, but most of the time, if you're driving up in the mountains or not really on a racetrack, if you're driving to enjoy your vehicle, you're gonna keep up the adaptive cruise control anyway. Now, back onto here, what do we see? It has built-in Spotify, all that stuff. But what we like is really the ergonomics of the vehicle. If you notice, everything is oriented towards me as a driver. So your screen and then the way the curve does, it kind of favors towards me. Even the way they do the AC, that's something BMW has been doing for, I think, since the E30, no, not E36, maybe E46. The way they angle it towards me, it's always a nice touch. You have some controls here for your volume, next track, and that. And then right here, like I showed you, wireless charger, 2 cup holders, USB-A, 12-volt outlet. Inside here, you've also got a USB-C port, which comes in handy. Now, the controls, steering wheel, we already talked about that, but your transmission control, we've become used to this in a lot of BMWs already. The way they do the toggle thing here, so reverse, push forward, pull back is puts you into drive, and then pull one more time, and then you're into the engine or the braking mode, meaning it helps you to regen a bit more, makes the slow down when you lift off a bit more aggressive. Electronic parking brake, auto brake hold, your control wheel here for the features here, but again, if you know, it's better to just use a touch screen depending on what you want to do. But the things we like about this one is this. So the different settings you have. So right now we'll put it to, let's say, let me get out of this setting now. So if we press this, it'll take us to Eco Pro. So it makes the vehicle as efficient as possible. Meaning when it comes to the energy efficiency, it tries to maximize everything the same way that Eco Pro works in some of the ICE BMWs before. So it gives you, let's say, it reduces the power of the compressor of the AC system. So it gets a little bit warmer, but you save a bit more. They also have comfort mode, which kind of adjusts pretty much everything when it comes to the vehicle. It's a nice balanced setting, as it says over there. But the modes you want to play with is this, the sport modes. So you have sport boost, and by the way, the sounds do change when you start playing around with that. But let's go through the configure how this works. So this one does have adaptive damping. I mean, you can see that right here when you want to, if you want to configure that. You can set it to different 2 modes, to sport or comfort, which is pretty straightforward. Steering, sport or comfort, meaning let's say in sport mode, it's a bit firmer. In comfort mode, it's quite a bit softer. So depending on where you're going to be driving, that's going to come in handy. Drivetrain, or at least how aggressive the not really transmission, but how aggressive the drive feels when it comes to coming off the line, the response on the throttle, that kind of thing, you can adjust it there. So these are just some of the things you can play with in your vehicle or in your BMW i4 M50. So now let's go take it out and play with it. Well, not on the racetrack, we'll just be on the road, but we'll keep it within perfectly legal limits. You know, it seems my timing for driving one of these couldn't be worse, because last night I remember spending 2.5 hours in traffic just from Makati to my house, which isn't too far away. It's only like, what, 15 kilometers maybe? But still, in being in the i4, it was actually a good thing. Now granted, I would still prefer, let's say, a crossover, because you get a bit of extra height and all that. But even cruising on the rougher parts on my route home, it was actually really good. And it was really smooth when it came to the way the vehicle behaved. It wasn't jerky or anything. I just had it in comfort mode. Same with the suspension. So it was nice and comfortable and smooth. And you know, being that it's an EV, there's not much vibration. There's no engine causing vibration. Then what you get is really a smooth ride, and you pee, less frequently than you would in an ICE. So that's, I guess, one of the strange benefits of any EV. But once the road starts opening up like this, we are on Cavitex right now, is when you can really have fun with it. Now BMW says the acceleration of this from 0 to 100 is 3.9 seconds. Well, we're not at a standstill now, but let me put it in sport mode. So if I put it into sport mode now and floor it, watch this. I'll brace my head here and oh! Yeah, I know it gets me every time. It's a lot of fun. It's really stupid, but it's still a lot of fun. Having that. I only went up to 80 there. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I did, but still, that's what EV delivers you. Like that kind of acceleration, instant torque, instant gratification, everything instant right away with this vehicle. Acceleration is just there, and it is incredible. But of course, I advise against using that all the time, because you do end up pulverizing your tires a bit more in these powerful EVs. Like I said, 544 horsepower, lots and lots and lots of torque. So you don't want to be straining your tires too much, because that's going to be the thing. Especially this one. This is an all-wheel drive. This is not a front or a rear wheel drive for a BMW. So keep that in mind. You will pulverize 4 tires if you keep doing that a lot. But once you calm down, get that out of your system, you just want to cruise like this, nice and quiet, and it feels really good. Like overtaking, like when you're accelerating smoothly, it's easy to be very, very smooth with this car. That's what I like about it. It's just great. Like it's not going to be, let's say, like the iX3. Oh, it will be similar, but there is something about a grand touring type of vehicle like this one, a grand coupe, that is just kind of great for these kinds of drives. The SUVs are more practical, but this is definitely more fun. Now, when it comes to range, BMW says 520, and I have no doubt about that. The only thing is that when we're talking about range, it really depends a lot on the setting. Meaning, by setting, I mean like the traffic conditions, weather conditions, and all that. Now, in my driving of this, I was getting around, when I did a top up to around 90% yesterday or the other day, I was getting around 367 kilometers based on the reading here, even though BMW does quote 520. But again, their traffic conditions, my traffic conditions, completely different. I'm just glad right now I'm able to enjoy a little bit of open road, even though it's not winding. But I did drive it on up some like Antipolo the other day, and the handling really good. I just wish I had more time and easier access to charging stations. And that, I think, is going to be the thing with the i4. It's not going to be for everyone. They kind of got a bit blindsided by the way things went when it comes to the charging stations, or at least how slow the charging stations have become available in the Philippines. Is still not enough, which is why, well, people are going more towards hybrids, like the range extender EVs, as well as the plug-in hybrids. But hopefully BMW can bring some of their models in that into that space, because I think that's going to be what the BMW market in the Philippines would really want. But hey, if you're a BMW customer, let me know in the comments below what you think. What makes BMW unique is that no matter what car they bring to market, they always make sure that it espouses sheer driving pleasure. That's what makes them special. It doesn't matter if they're looking at, let's say, a luxury sedan, a big SUV, or even a hatchback. They gotta make it drive like it's really fun. It has to really excite whoever is behind the wheel. And that's also what they do with their electric vehicle range. We can feel that. The low center of gravity, the acceleration, the handling, the overall feel that you can take it on the mountains or you can take it on the Nürburgring and have a lot of fun. And that is certainly the case with something like the BMW i4 M50. It's a BEV though. I mean, that's the kind of thing with the vehicle like this. It's a BEV. You kind of have to adjust your driving, your lifestyle to suit it, because you can't just drive her off anywhere. You have to think about where the nearest charging station is and that kind of thing. So when it comes to BEV, we like the performance, we like the technology, but it really depends on you as the customer whether it's a good fit for your lifestyle and where you live. But if it is a fit for you, you are really going to enjoy a vehicle like this to drive every day or even just on weekends. Now the price, well, it retails for 5.99 million. Hopefully that price may change, get a bit lower, because really it is a great car and we'd love everyone to be able to enjoy it. But personally, I think it's gonna be my second favorite of the BEVs for 2024. My number one, well, you'll find out soon enough when we do our editor's picks for this year.